We didn't just change education, we replaced it. I was born in 1967, close enough to World War II that its lessons were still alive in the culture around me. We didn't treat history like a distant subject. We treated it like a warning system. Through television, documentaries, and school, we were taught exactly what happened in Nazi Germany and how authoritarian systems developed in Russia. The goal was simple: recognize these patterns early, so they never take hold again. And just as important, we were taught how to think. In the 1970s and 1980s, education wasn't about pushing conclusions. It was about building a mind capable of reaching them. We read deeply, we debated, we studied racism, culture, and history. Not to be told what to believe, but to understand complexity. That approach came from a classical foundation, the same tradition that shaped institutions like Harvard University. It emphasized logic, reasoning, and moral clarity. It trained students to question everything, including what they were being taught. That system is gone, not evolved, not improved, replaced. What has taken its place is something fundamentally different. Today's education system, in many cases, no longer prioritizes independent thought. Instead, it increasingly frames the world through a narrow lens, dividing society into categories of oppressor and oppressed, reducing complex human realities into simplified power struggles. Whether openly acknowledged or not, these frameworks closely resemble the ideological structure of Marxism. And here's the problem. When you teach people what to think instead of how to think, you don't create critical thinkers. You create followers. The result is playing out in real time. A generation is being raised with strong emotions, high conviction, and a willingness to act, but often without the historical depth to understand the ideas they are championing. They protest systems they believe are new, unaware that many of these ideas have been studied, tested, and in some cases have led to devastating outcomes when taken to extremes. We were taught to recognize warning signs, how movements gain momentum, how language shifts, how dissent gets reframed as opposition to progress. We were taught that dangerous ideas don't always arrive openly. They evolve, adapt, and present themselves as solutions. Most importantly, we were taught to stay anchored. The Constitution wasn't presented as optional or outdated. It was the framework that allowed disagreement without collapse. It was the guardrail that kept passion from turning into chaos. You could challenge your country, criticize its flaws, and still remain grounded in the principles that made that criticism possible in the first place. That grounding is weakening, and without it, something dangerous happens. People stop questioning the ideas they agree with. They stop recognizing when movements cross from reform into control. They stop seeing patterns, not because they're incapable, but because they were never trained to look for them. This is not about resisting change. Change is inevitable, but abandoning the intellectual tools that protect against manipulation, that is not progress. That is vulnerability. We didn't just modernize education, we stripped it of its core purpose. We traded the discipline of thought for the comfort of certainty, and in doing so, we may have created a generation that is easier to mobilize, but harder to ground. History doesn't need to repeat itself exactly to repeat its consequences. It only needs a generation that no longer recognizes it.